This brave MP has opened up about the horrific school bullying that put him in hospital. A brave MP has spoken movingly of the school bullying that left him mentally scarred and needing facial surgery in hospital. Chris Elmore, 33, was branded lard-a and a gayer, punched in the face aged 10 and had his school uniform tied to a urinal and soiled. By age 14 he was suffering breakdowns and blackouts which doctors put down to the toll on his mental health. Only after he went to police aged 17, when thugs beat him so badly his teeth punctured his lip, did the bullying stop. But the trauma remained, and just 3 years ago he fled shaking and crying to a churchyard after his old bullies walked into a pub he was in. Mr. Elmore, the Labour MP for Elmore since 2016, spoke out to show how bullying is not yet in the past and schools must work to tackle it. He first raised the abuse in a House of Commons debate on Thursday. And speaking to the Mirror today, he revealed the full devastating extent of it. "The first time I was punched in the face was when I was 10, he said. "In a physics lesson I would be kicked so hard under the desk my shins would bleed. I've been kicked down a stairwell." The former pupil at St. Elon Comprehensive in Caerphilly, which has since shut down, said the on and off bullying over 7 years was mainly by one group of boys, but some girls were involved too. "There's one example when I was in a class when I was about 16, he said. "I was out on the pitch and I came into the changing rooms to find my clothes had been wrapped round a urinal and peed all over. And that was actually done by 2 girls who were part of a gang of people who were taking an awful lot of pleasure out of my condition of being bullied. There were penis size and masturbation jokes, physical attacks and homophobic humor." Mr. Elmore is not gay but said, "If I was, so what? I would be described as, well, fat, large," he added. "I would be attacked for being large, lard-a and what have you. I've always been a bigger fella." Aged 14, he said, "I was having blackouts so I had to go and have scans to make sure there wasn't anything physically wrong. They put it down to my mental state, I wasn't well and my body was reacting to stress." Things came to a head aged 17 during his AS levels, when his assailants pounced on him after hiding behind a door. "I remember a lot of shoving and pushing, and the next thing I remember is falling into a glass cabinet and then landing on the floor," he said. "I was dazed. I got home, my dad was at home, and he was quite distressed. What I hadn't realized was my teeth had gone through a section of my face, beneath my lip." Mr. Elmore's dad took him to A&E where he had surgery to glue his lip together, a scar he can still feel today, and decided enough was enough. Police were called to the school and one of his assailants was charged and prosecuted, Mr. Elmore said. After that the bullying died down, but not before his bullies tried to blame him for their behavior. "They told the school and the police I deserved it, I was a teacher's pet, I was posh," he said. He panicked during an exam the following Monday and had to apply to resit it, with the help of his teachers. And the trauma remained, bubbling back up 3 years ago when 6 of his old foes walked into a Cardiff pub. He said, "To my shame they started verbal abuse, I went to the toilet, 2 of them followed me. They tried to engage me in conversation, it wasn't polite conversation so I came back downstairs. Then with the 3 friends I was with, basically I ran to the church next door where I shook and probably cried, I can't remember but probably I did cry, while they fended off these guys." He added, "I don't think it ever goes away. I think what you do is you learn to deal with it." Mr. Elmore said part of the problem was because he was unable to break ties with the group. "My mom and dad begged me to not carry on in the friendship group but I always went back," he said. "Anyone who's been bullied will know that you still crave friendship." Mr. Elmore was so nervous about opening up in the House of Commons that he did not tell his fiancée. Since then MPs have praised Mr. Elmore for his openness in a bid to help children suffering today. He said he does not blame his teachers, but added some don't recognize the scale of the problem. "I think there is more of an acceptance today that there's a problem in schools," he said. "I met teachers 16, 17 years ago saying this is just part of growing up, get on with it.